The story begins at a busy port in Hong Kong, where cranes are loading containers onto ships. These containers are now being sent to different places under tight security. Inside one of these containers, along with piles of cash, is a man named Ivan Mark. After passing some security checks, he steps out of the container. Actually, this container was shipped from Spain to Hong Kong carrying $8 million. And after the money is counted, Ivan is supposed to receive a 3% commission for delivering it. A few years earlier, we see Ivan. At that time, he saw his father as his hero, and he could never forget the day they went together to apply for a loan to open a wedding banquet hall. Their business initially did quite well, and the family was making a lot of money. But then, due to an economic crisis in the country, his father's business collapsed. That's when Ivan decided he would never live in poverty again. After the recession, Ivan's father would often sit in front of the TV, constantly complaining. This annoyed Ivan, as he felt his father did nothing but blame the government all day. During this time, Ivan started working as a valet, but was always looking for a good business opportunity. Unlike his father, Ivan didn't believe in sticking to the system. One day, he shared a business plan with his friends. He wanted to buy an old, worthless apartment, renovate it, and sell it for a profit. But his friends had no interest in the idea, and they didn't have any money to invest either. Ivan said, "So what? We'll get a loan from the bank." But hearing this, his friends laughed at him. While working at their valet job, Ivan and his friends spotted Mr. Larimer, a government minister, who was clearly very drunk at the time. Ivan offered to drop him home, and the minister quickly agreed. Ivan was eager to open the man's briefcase, and luckily, he got enough time to do so. When he opened it, he was shocked to see piles of cash inside. Without hesitation, he took out some money. Later, when they reached the minister's house, Ivan went straight to meet the woman for whom the politician worked. Ivan believed that he could do a much better job than that drunkard. He didn't care what kind of business they were in. He just wanted a chance. He also told the woman that the politician had been stealing money from her behind her back. Since Ivan had already taken some of that money, his words turned out to be true. Mary was impressed by Ivan's confidence, and she offered him 10,000 euros to make a delivery. Ivan gladly accepted the offer. The next day, Ivan delivered a horse to a man named Francisco, who had bought it for his daughter Letitia's birthday. When asked, Ivan told him this was his first delivery for Mary. During their conversation, Ivan found out that both he and Francisco were from the same city. He also learned Francisco's backstory, how he once worked at a small photocopy shop, and then slowly rose to success by making connections with powerful people. Now, Ivan had to deliver a briefcase full of cash from Francisco back to Mary, but this task wasn't so easy. On the way, the police stopped him, and within moments, they found the cash inside the briefcase. To save himself, Ivan quickly lied, saying, "I just sold my house. This money came from that." But the police easily saw through his lie and, in anger, slammed his head onto the car. Seeing himself in serious trouble, Ivan confidently said, "I know your boss. Should I call him?" Hearing this, the officers let him go. In reality, these police officers were working for Mary, and the whole setup had been planned by her to test Ivan's loyalty. After the successful delivery, Ivan not only received his payment, but also got a bonus to buy some new clothes. Time passed, and Mary and Ivan grew closer. The next day, Ivan met Mary's husband, Francis, the son of a powerful diamond smuggler. That day, Ivan's job was to help a Belgian courier. Ivan was really happy with his courier job. He was earning good money and driving expensive cars. Francisco, also known as Paco, was involved in laundering black money for his wealthy clients. One day, Ivan was talking to Letitia when Paco saw them. Paco didn't like it and warned Ivan to stay away from Letitia. A few days later, Ivan met Mary at a restaurant, where she told him that things had become too dangerous in Belgium, so they had found a new partner in another city, Geneva. Just then, they noticed a strange-looking couple at the restaurant. Seeing them, Ivan joked, "How did that fool manage to get such a pretty girl?" Mary replied, "With what's in his briefcase, anything is possible." Ivan was still deeply impressed by Mary and wanted to continue doing business with her because he wanted to learn more about how the entire game worked. Sometime later, while talking to his mother, Ivan saw the same man on TV. On TV, Ivan also saw his wife and realized that the man was having an affair with the girl they had seen at the restaurant. Ivan quietly waited for the man to return so he could install a camera in his room and blackmail him. The man's name was Louis. Ivan even paid a cleaner to sneak him into the room. But unfortunately, the restaurant's security officer, Yannick, caught him red-handed. However, he didn't stop Ivan. He simply wanted a cut of the profit. After that, Yannick himself installed the cameras, and the video evidence they got was enough to blackmail Louis. Ivan now fully trusted Yannick and considered him someone who could become a great partner. Not only was he powerful, but he was also very smart. After finishing their task, the two celebrated with a fun night of partying. Later, Ivan met with Mary and told her that his mother had been insisting on meeting him for a long time. Mary immediately said, "No problem. Take as many days off as you need." She also gifted Ivan a watch, saying that a person's watch and shoes reveal everything about them. After that, Ivan and Yannick went to meet Louis. They showed him the footage and gave him two choices: either talk to the police and ruin his reputation, or join forces with them. At first, Louis was hesitant, but he had no choice and was forced to agree to all their conditions. The deal was that in exchange for deleting the video, Louis would introduce them to all the key people in his network. In the beginning, Ivan had no idea that a special police unit was secretly monitoring this operation, and that's when Head Inspector Roy first learned about Ivan. Louis even presented Ivan as someone special, helping him gain trust among the others. Later, Ivan met Mary and told her about his new business ventures. But Mary had one concern, that Francis wouldn't be happy about this. He wouldn't like the idea of two young guys, Ivan and Yannick, stealing his clients. Because if they started laundering the dirty money instead of Paco, Francisco would definitely be upset. But Ivan believed there was enough money in this business for everyone. He also promised that he wouldn't steal Paco's clients. After spending the night together, Ivan asked Mary to stay, but she said she wanted to celebrate Christmas with her family. When Ivan went to Madrid to visit his own family, he brought lots of gifts for them. However, his father wasn't happy at all, especially because he had no idea what Ivan actually did for a living. He kept questioning Ivan about his job. To avoid trouble, Ivan casually said he worked in import-export with some big clients. But the conversation quickly turned into an argument. After the fight with his father, Ivan went to meet his old friends, and to his surprise, they were now buying old apartments, renovating them, and selling them. Exactly the business idea Ivan had shared with them years ago. Time passed, the money kept flowing, and Ivan's business continued to grow and thrive. During one such meeting, Ivan unexpectedly ran into Francisco and Leticia. Francisco was upset because Ivan had been pulling his clients toward his own business. He warned Ivan about it, but when Ivan still didn't back off, Francisco sent some of his men to teach Ivan and Yannick a lesson. He just wanted to make it clear that they had no right to do business in his territory. Instead of running away after the attack, Ivan decided to confront Francisco directly. He assured him that he wasn't trying to steal his clients. Ivan even said, "Sir, look, I'm working in your area, right? Take 30% of the profits." Hearing this, Francisco was very pleased. In the time that followed, Ivan made a lot of money, and with it came a lot of arrogance. Mary noticed this change in his behavior, and when she pointed it out, Ivan got angry. He believed that the one bringing in the most money deserved respect. Mary also told him that her husband had heard about an ongoing investigation into Francisco, and that's why she warned Ivan to stay away from all of it. But Ivan ignored her advice, and instead made plans to expand his business even further. Sometime later, Ivan spotted undercover police officers outside a party. He approached them and said, "Take me to your boss." The officers took him to the police station, where he met Inspector Manuel Roy, the head of the investigation at the time. Ivan told him, "I'm ready to fully cooperate with the police. My boss is Francisco. I hand over all the money to him. I'll give you full details about him." But in return, Ivan demanded complete safety and protection for himself. The reason he had promised 30% profit to Francisco earlier was so that he could trap him later, but for that, he needed solid evidence to prove it all. Ivan wanted to make sure no one could suspect that he had informed the police about Francisco, so he took Leticia to Paris for a week and fulfilled her every wish. He was pretending to be in love with her only to avoid suspicion, so later he could say, "I had nothing to do with this." A few days later, when Leticia saw the news of her father's arrest on TV, she immediately wanted to return to Madrid. But when they returned to the city, Leticia caught Ivan with other women. That's when she realized Ivan had only faked his love for her. After Francisco was jailed, Ivan told everyone, "Until he gets out, I'll handle his clients." But Mary didn't agree with this idea. They believed that since the police already had information about Francisco's clients, continuing to do business with them could put Ivan in danger. Ivan agreed with them and shut down his business for the time being. He blew all his remaining money partying in Madrid. But once it all ran out, he returned home and found out that his father had passed away and his mother was now in desperate need of help. Coming back home, Ivan still couldn't stop thinking about new business ideas. Eventually, he learned about the Chinese mafia. He reached out to Louis for information on a man named Yao Ming. Ming was known for moving black money from there to China, but he still used outdated methods and often got caught. Ivan then went to meet Mary and started discussing a possible deal with Yao Ming. But the biggest problem was that by now, moving money into or out of Switzerland had become nearly impossible, and to make things worse, their clients wanted cash. Ivan came up with a solution. He suggested, "Let's transfer the money stuck in Switzerland to Yao's Chinese account, and in return, Yao can give us cash here in Spain." Both parties liked this idea and quickly agreed to the plan. Just as Mary and Ivan were celebrating their new deal, Francisco suddenly showed up at their table. After Ivan had betrayed Leticia, Francisco found out that Ivan was the one who had tipped off the police. But Francisco managed to bribe the judge and got his case dismissed. Now, he was determined to take revenge on Ivan at any cost. At the same time, they also found out that a software engineer who worked for them had leaked the list of Swiss bank accounts. As a result, Stoll and Francisco took whatever money they could and fled. Ivan and Mary quickly realized they were in serious trouble. Most of their clients were on that leaked list. Now the police were after them too, so they tried to run. But suddenly, some men from their Chinese client showed up and captured them. They were taken to Yao Ming, who himself was now in deep trouble as the police were chasing him as well. Yao believed that Ivan had ratted him out to the police and in anger was ready to kill both Ivan and Mary. Just as Yao was about to shoot Ivan quickly came up with a plan. He promised Yao that he would personally deliver the money to its destination. Ivan assured Yao that he would safely transport the cash by hiding inside a container full of money and personally delivering it from Spain to Hong Kong. The plan was extremely risky, but it was the only way Ivan might survive. Also, if Ivan made it to Hong Kong, Yao wouldn't have to worry about him talking to the police. According to the plan, Ivan reached Hong Kong safely. He was happy, thinking he'd now get his 3% commission. But suddenly, the police arrived and arrested him. He was then deported back to Spain. Now Ivan knew he had only one hope left: to get a good lawyer who could reduce his sentence. Because at this point, prison was certain. But his lawyer told him straight up, "You're definitely looking at least 15 years. Ivan had even tried to bribe the police inspector to escape punishment. But unfortunately, the officer was honest and refused the bribe. Later, Ivan found out the real reason he got caught in Hong Kong. It was Mary. To save herself, she had given his information to the police. Ivan understood. He told himself, if I were in her place, maybe I'd have done the same. Eventually, Yao Ming also got arrested. In the end, as Ivan prepared to go to jail, he finally understood what his father used to say. In a prison interview, he admitted, money can get to people's heads, and the same thing happened to me. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.